Okay, thank you. Give people a few minutes to settle down. Oh, never mind. The San Jose people left, so don't have to wait for them. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming and joining our Guan Yin Dharma Assembly. I'm glad you're here. Today we are celebrating Guan Yin Bodhisattva's Enlightenment Day. It's a very special day for us. It's also the day where in Korea, about last night, we have a newly ordained nun by the name of Xian Fa. I talked about it a couple of days ago. We prepared for her thing. And so this occurred at Wei Mountain Temple. Very pleased to tell you that after waiting for a while now, Xian Fa came over to our temple from another temple in the Shamini training program. And I see in the photo here this Master Xian Zhi, the abbot of Jewel Mountain Temple, was presiding over, organizing this full ordination, and along with other members of our Sangha. Let's see. Okay. See, and these, I think this is her dad here, and the other one, that's from the same temple that she originally, where I first met them. When I met Xian Fa, she was a lay person, and she was had a problem. She always was interested in spiritual pursuits. She wanted to become a nun, and she was at her master's temple in Seoul for a long time. And she known her for 15 years, worked in the office for 10 years. And she decided she wanted to live the home life, but she had a problem. She shook like crazy. As soon as she starts going, she would shake, she would walk funny, she would, behave as if she was possessed. And no one in Korea knew what to do. So I happened to be there in my first or second visit. I don't remember anymore. Anyone remembers? I'm getting old. I don't remember these things anymore. And so I look at her and I look at how distressed she was, that people were scared of her, because she's really a behavior of someone who is possessed. Actually, she wasn't. That's the thing. So but people didn't know, and no one knew what to do. So the only option was for her to stop cultivating, then it's no problem. But when she participated in a recitation, some sort of ceremony, she would shake like crazy and walk funny and twirl around in the middle of circumambulation and so forth. It's scary people. So I was there, I happened to be there, and so I decided to help her a little bit and stopped it. I said, oh, don't worry, they can't, this is not a big deal. Actually, it's a good thing. Just to prove it to you, it can go away. And I stopped it. And then, so that's how I started. And then I encouraged her not to let that problem stop her from shaving her head. And what she did, she shaved her head. And in order for her to make it through the Shamini training program, because as you could imagine, that people who didn't know her would be horribly terrified with such behavior. Okay, it's not normal, and so I had to help her reduce the shaking quite a bit, so that she would shake a little bit, but not in a crazy manner. Okay, so more like a quirk. So that's how it started. So years ago. It was about 3 years ago. She became a nun, a novice, and I encouraged her to shave her head and undergo the training. This is about 4 years ago. Yeah, and that's when we got Wei Mountain Temple, so she did. She did, and over the years, she's been training patiently, and I met her the last time we were there. When was that? February, March, April? April. And I saw her again. She said, I have 1 more year left to go in my training program. And I said, oh, very good of you. It's very important for you to survive the training program. And then she says, after that, I would like to come over to your temple. I said, so God be my witness. I'm not trying to steal you from your master's temple. You plan to come over here anyway, okay? So I said, 1 year left, you learn what you're supposed to learn already. The next year, the last year is coasting. It's a waste of your life. You're not a young chicken anymore. I think she's like 35. How old is she? Anyone remembers? No one remembers? Huh? You don't care? Less than 40.
Close to 40 years old. Close to 40.
She's like around 40. And so I said, why don't you come over? And she came over. She jumped at that immediately. Yeah. And because of that, I got in trouble with her master. They're not happy. The teacher not happy, and they accuse us of all kinds of things. But that's comes to the territory, and that's the nature of our cultivation. I didn't say anything. I said whatever they wanted to think. Misinterpreted a lot of things. Accused us a lot of things. But anyway, that's her first test. The way I look at it is that the more difficult it is for you to come over, it means you can go quite far. When you come over, you have no problems, then you won't get very far. So it's a good thing for us. It didn't bother me at all, but it bothered a lot of people, as usual. Why are people so afflicted? What is a big deal? They insult you, they slander you. So what's a big deal? I endured it for years. That's what makes us tougher, endure the suffering, take it. So anyway, so she came over, and we've been busy, so we couldn't. I promised her we fully ordain her because I felt she was ready. There's no need for that anymore, and she should start the next program. So the next phase of her training program. So might as well become fully ordained. So she waited until now, 3 months. You see. Look. Look at that. And there are people there. They're supportive. The Koreans are very supportive. Actually, it's very rare to find people living home life in Korea anymore. People don't anymore. It's very rare. They're disenchanted with their future. They have, they don't have a whole lot to look forward to. In particular, what's missing, I feel, that's what they're complaining about, is probably a couple of things. Number one, training program. They don't really don't get the proper training from our perspective. Now, Weiyang standards, it's not good enough. Okay, and number two, because of the lack of training, the proper training and support. Once you become fully ordained and you don't have a whole lot to look forward to, it's very difficult for you to sustain your life as a left-home person. You have to make ends meet. You need money to pay for your clothes, for your food, transportation, expenses, all expenses. So basically, in the current system, most of them have to work. Find some kind of job. Some of them finish their college degrees and go to work, get a job, which is an absolute no-no for us. For monks and nuns, we cannot do that. We don't want to do that, okay? Because if you work and your boss scolds you, then he's scolding the Sangha, okay? You cannot let it happen to the people, others. So that's why you don't want to get a job. But if you don't get a job, how are you going to sustain yourself? So they work at the temples, they help out and so forth and get paid and then help meet the expenses. But here's a problem. I saw some older monks who been through the system for a long time. Now they're older and they still have to scramble for money. It's sad to see that. I mean, these are accomplished monks. They should be revered. They should be supported, but they're not. So but the system is that, unless you're productive, you have to earn your way. So that, to me, is a huge problem with the current Sangha system. Whereas you go to a country like Taiwan, they are a lot more supportive. The monks and nuns there don't really have to get a job because they get such great support from the lay people. They have a lot of money and food and clothing. Every year, lay people would give them new clothes. Every month, they would pool funds together and give each Sangha member around $100 a month. And that's the norm in Taiwan, okay? And then food, they eat very well. They have nothing to worry about. You go to bigger temples, you have your own efficiency, if you will, okay? A room with your own bathroom. You have to contribute maybe up to 2 hours a day for the temple, and that's it. The rest of the time, you do whatever you want, okay? So you're well taken care of. So because of that, they don't cultivate anymore. Life is comfortable. And that's against our training program as well. Because as a left-form person, we're supposed to live in poverty. You're not supposed to live in excess, okay? You're not supposed to drive a red car. Now, as long as we're there, okay? And so you can wish for a red car, but you're not supposed to get it. Okay? So it is better to have some needs, but you don't want to be too needy where you need to make the rent, you need to pay for the food and so forth. So Master YongHua, he brought the system here to the U.S. where we support the Sangha and train them. The main thing about the support is that as long as a left-form person is still worried about making ends meet, they don't cultivate. They can't cultivate. It's very difficult for them to cultivate because to worry about making ends meet is called worldly pursuit. And left-home people should not worry about worldly things anymore. So that's why it's a big problem with the Sangha system nowadays. That's why we hope that in the future we will. And these are the parents, I think, Xianfa's parents. Okay. They came from Seoul, the Bundang area of our Konk temple, and to JMT, Jewel Mountain Temple, to participate in the full ordination. Okay. Anyway, and so that's a big problem for them. So because of that lack of support, how can they possibly be trained? If they don't have training, how can they develop skills to sustain themselves later? Because what we do is not worldly things at all. We're not supposed to do worldly things. How are we going to support ourselves? We support ourselves by having the skills to help others. Okay? First of all, have you noticed, for example, this morning during the ceremony, I need to apologize to you. When it first started, One Tek Sunim, how did it sound like to you? I was sleepy to myself. I said, oh, it sounds like me, sleepy voice. What's sleepy voice? It's called depression. Very low. And then it didn't bother me. I said, oh, depression, what else is new? And then within 1 or 2 minutes, something changed. Anyone notice? You really didn't notice anything, did you? What happened? Anyone notice? And then he started changing the pitch, the tone. He was going off key. Notice that? That is not acceptable. When you do ceremony, the assistant Weno should be on the same key as the Weno. So we went off key. And anyone remember when you were at the Lu Mountain Temple, we had no one to do ceremonies, and we had to have Master Xianjie do ceremonies? The pale-faced guy, remember? And how often he went off-key? Every single ceremony? Remember that? You know what that is? What? Not depression. What's the other side? Manic. So, when you depress and do ceremonies, they depress your energy levels, and I don't want to be here. What am I doing here? I don't feel good. Okay? That's depression. That's why there's no energy whatsoever. I say, okay. But when you go off key and mess up everyone else, the chanting on the men's side will, and the women, they go off key. I mean, it's so annoying. Okay, see that? That's manic. So what to do? See, I didn't do anything about depression because I'm depressed too. So okay, no big deal. Okay, he's depressed, so am I. I can't complain. But when he goes off key, it's no. You're messing my ceremony. Okay, so what did I do? I said I had to fix this. How long did it last? Anyone notice? How long did it last? Not very long, did it? Do you notice how one Tek you still remember? See, Master Xianjie, the pale-faced guy, what happened to him? He disappeared again? The pale-faced monk, he would be off key for the entire ceremony. Remember, huh? Xianxin, you remember? Xianxin, you remember? He go off key, and we basically recited with him, off key with him, or because whatever the Weino sings, you do the same thing, okay? You don't fight the Weino, unless you me. I fight everyone. Okay, so we used to do that. He used to put up with that until he remembered and he went off, he recovered. But today, it's a big day for us. There's a Xianfa, full ordination. There's many of you, 30 of you. I counted, so wow, so many people. And so I had to fix it immediately, okay? So as soon as I realized that he's going off key because of manic attack on top of the depression attack, I fixed it. How did I fix it? And that's to remind you, vice abbots, when you see that happen again in the future, off key and low level, okay, especially for a guy like him, okay, you fix it. Okay, if you can't fix it, then the abbot has to fix it. Abbot can't fix it, call me. Okay, I'll get violent. Okay, so what did I do this morning? Would you like to know? That's so fast. What did I do? I slapped him, one slap in the face. Say, hey, who do you think you are? Where do you think you are? Just one slap. And somehow the guy woke up right away. So when we were bowing, we were chanting, east and west chanting. So as soon as he went off key, I said, I like this chanting, so you're not going to mess it up for me. So I slapped the ghost immediately, and he ran away. Okay? My point is that that's what you do. This is what we're supposed to do with our cultivation, to be able to have the skills to defend our temples. Okay? So that when you come to our temple, you get relief, you get protection. That's what we do. What happened to the applause sign? Oh, please. Okay? So this is what left-form people are supposed to do. You should be proud of it, that our purpose is to develop skills in order to help society. And those are spiritual skills. They're not the same as worldly skills. Therefore, you need to set your minds on off-worldly things. That's why you need support, you need training. Okay? So that's what we hope to do more for the world in a way. That is, we'd like to train more and more people so that instead of me having to do that, I let my vice abbots do that. Okay, they take care of it because I be moving around, going around to train more and more people. Okay, so they are left to fulfill the protection and the support of our people. Okay, and that's important. That's an important aspect of the Sangha program that no one talks about anymore. It used to be implied that when you leave the home life, it's in order to become enlightened. When you become enlightened, you have the wisdom and the ability to do things that others cannot do, cannot see, cannot understand. Okay, and so that's why that's why the left-form people nowadays, even though very sincere, I met Korean Sunims, I met Vietnamese Sunims, I met recently some Sri Lankan monks and nuns who came to our Wei Mountain Temple. And I look at them, I say, if you're at this level, how could you possibly defend your temples? How could you possibly help your own followers? Okay, and the older disciples at their era, they're taught culturally to come and support the temple. The younger generation, they don't have that mindset anymore. The young generation, they ask for something more concrete. They ask us, they expect us to earn our way. So you can't do that. So that's why the new Sanghas, the new members of our Sangha need to be more cognizant of that and recognize that they must develop skills. Skills are real, that in order to really contribute to society, in which used to be the case, this unspoken rule of the old times in the prior, like Master Hsuan generation, they're very proud of it. They're proud to contribute, okay? They're proud to support the lay people, and they have the aspiration to do that. And so he brought that to our country in the 1960s, late 1960s, and he trained us, the second generation of Mahayana in this U.S. And something happened. I don't see anything developing in a good way in the third generation of his temples. That's why I had to do something at our temples. I used to patiently wait for the second patriarch to be ready so that I would send you over to him to receive transmission for the hands and eyes, Guan Yin Dharma doors. But I waited for 10 years and nothing happened, so Master YongHua told me to transmit the hands and eyes to you, meaning we bypass them, we don't need them anymore. That's the only thing left for us, okay? And so we are the new Sangha, the American Sangha, that will call the American. Actually, it's to distinguish it from the current state of affairs. We're going back to the standards of the old times, where the Sangha is a pillar of society. Okay, wherever the Sangha was, wherever there was a temple, the whole region prospered. Okay? That's how you can tell. There's no calamities, no earthquakes. There's no disasters. Okay? And that's supposed to happen. That's what the Sangha does, implicitly. And so we need to go back to that in order to those standards, in order to make Buddha Dharma strong again. Okay, so we take training very, very seriously. So I'm pleased that Xianfa is aboard, and I want to remind her and all of you that the training program is there, and we've been able to do that for 15 years now, over 15 years, and many of you are, both lay people and left-form people, are very good already. I have, for example, I just heard the story yesterday that one of the latest disciples, who is in the Arhat range already, a lay person, who's able to, at the skill level right now, in the Arhat range, where she's able to protect her son from just being near her, and the son is not as scared and not as prone to having nightmares and so forth. And the children can tell. They draw near you because they feel safer. They feel protected. They feel calmer. All right? So anyway, so Xian Fa, I hope that she does not forget about the purpose. It's not about just shaving your head alone and wearing clothes and having a very pleasant life. We'll protect you. We'll support you so that you don't have to worry about worldly things, making money, making car payments, and so forth. But it's in order for you to develop your skills and contribute to society. Unlike the Hinayana people, the people who are seeking to be comfortable with the lifestyle of the Sangha. In our Sangha, you can be very comfortable. We protect you and we expect nothing of you. You develop at your own pace, at your own interests. We won't force you to do anything you don't want to do. Okay? In our Sangha, people work hard and progress a lot because they wish to do that. We're not forcing anyone. But so the system is there, and the results are there, the track records are there. So it's important for you to decide for yourself how far you want to go. And the further you go, the more you have to make sacrifices. Okay? You have to pay the price. We're not asking you for money. We're not asking you for anything. The currency is how big a sacrifice you're willing to make. That's what separates you from the lower levels. That's all there is to it. And so many of people ahead of Xian Fa have made huge sacrifices. That's why they became enlightened, many of them, and reached very high levels as well. And so it's a good time for people to join the Sangha here, our Sangha here, because they have different levels and they have plenty of people who are cultivating with them, just like in the Pure Land. Okay, there's a reason for that. And so don't lose sight of that. And furthermore, one of the characteristics that our program is that we cultivate Guan Yin Dharma doors, meaning that we practice Chan meditation based on a lot of Guan Yin Dharma doors. Furthermore, we also teach you the tantric practices, such as the lineage, our American Wei Yang lineage, 42 hands and eyes, another Guan Yin Dharma door, to give you the tools for your work in the future. Okay, after you are allowed to use those tools to work and to help others. Yeah. And I can't wait for the time where we have enough surplus manpower that I can afford to have you rotate and go into seclusion where I teach you the Guan Yin Dharma door. When you do that, I think it would be pretty fast for you to go get up there. And so I look forward to it. Some of the projects I have in mind, I patiently wait for the proper time, the right time, and enough manpower and support to do. Okay, so lots of good things happening to challenge all of you. Questions or comments? Okay. You're so thrilled, I can see. All right. In that case here, let's go to the slides again. Look how happy Master Z is. Look at that. These people don't ever smile. They're too serious. Look at him. Okay. That's it? What happened to the photos of her and the Sangha? I didn't send it to you. Doesn't matter. Okay. Well, anyway, that's all I have for you today. Any questions or comments? Huh? Okay, and then let's take a short break and come back in about 5-10 minutes to do the lunch offering. Thank you, everyone. Okay.